All right, let's talk about one of the biggest buzzwords in tech right now, AI agents. Everyone is saying they're the next massive leap forward, but what are they really? And how much of this is hype versus reality? Let's cut through the noise and find out.
I mean, you literally can't miss the hype. You've got major publications like Reuters basically declaring that 2025 is going to be the year of the agent. The promise here is absolutely huge. AI that doesn't just answer your questions, but actually does things for you.
Okay, Year of the Agent sounds great, but it begs the question, what are we even talking about? Is this just another fancy name for a chatbot, or is it something fundamentally different? To really get it, we've got to nail down our definitions.
Okay, so let's get into it. The best way to understand what an AI agent is to first understand what it isn't. I like to think of it as a ladder of autonomy. With each step up, the AI gets more and more independent. So down at the bottom of the ladder, you have the tools we all know and use, the basic LLM apps. Think about something like ChatGPT. You give it a very specific command and it gives you a text answer back. It's kind of like having a brilliant intern. They're amazing for research or drafting an email, but they're not going to go off and start a new project without you telling them to. They just wait for the next instruction. Now take one step up the ladder, and we get to AI copilots. These tools are actually built right into your workflow. The classic example is GitHub Copilot, which suggests lines of code while a developer is typing. See the difference? It's not just waiting for a command. It's actively helping you out in real time. But, and this is key, you are still 100% in the driver's seat. And that brings us to the very top of the ladder, the AI agent. And this is where everything changes. With an agent, you don't give it a bunch of tiny instructions, you give it a big, high-level goal, something like plan our entire social media campaign for the new product launch. And then the agent itself figures out all the steps, researching competitors, writing the posts, scheduling them, and then it just does them. It's not an intern anymore, it's more like a totally self-sufficient employee. So when you see it all laid out like this, the difference becomes so clear, right? It's all about autonomy. An app generates text. A copilot helps you be more efficient. But an agent automates the whole task by making its own decisions. That leap to autonomous action, that's the real game changer here. So this isn't all just theory. I mean, this stuff is happening right now. Some really smart companies are already using early versions of these agents to solve some pretty tough business problems. Let's look at a couple of amazing examples. First up, let's look inside a company we've all heard of, Uber. They built an internal agent they call Finch, and it has totally transformed how their finance teams get their hands on data. Okay, so get this. Instead of a data analyst having to spend a ton of time writing complicated code to pull financial numbers, they can now just ask a question in plain English right inside of Slack. And what's really wild is that Finch isn't just one agent. It's a whole team of agents working together. A supervisor agent reads the question and passes it off to other specialized agents, like one that's an expert at writing code. They all coordinate to get the answer. It completely automates a super technical and time-consuming job. All right, let's check out another one, this time from the world of customer support. The company Intercom built an AI agent that can handle one of the trickiest things out there, a live phone call with a customer.
This is where you can really see the full potential come to life. FinVoice does the whole shebang. It listens to a customer, transcribes what they're saying, uses a language model to figure out the problem, and then talks back with a natural-sounding voice. It can even go into the system and take actions to fix the issue. It only hands the call off to a human if it gets totally stuck. That's a complex, end-to-end task, handled completely on its own.
So after hearing about Uber and Intercom, you might be thinking, wow, the future is here. But when you actually talk to the developers who are in the trenches building these things, you get a slightly different story. The reality on the ground is, well, it's a lot messier. This quote from a developer on Reddit just nails one of the biggest problems. They call it compounded error or compounded hallucination. Think about it. An AI might be 95% accurate on one single task, which sounds great. But what happens when an agent has to do 10 of those tasks in a row, and each step relies on the one before it? Well, those little errors start to pile up fast.
Yeah, this is the really crucial point. That small 5% error rate on each step gets multiplied. So after a 10-step process, your overall accuracy can suddenly drop to around 60%. And for a critical business task, a 60% success rate is, well, it's not going to fly. This is a massive, massive hurdle for true autonomy.
And it's not just the accuracy. Developers will give you a whole list of other headaches. Things like agents have really bad long-term memory, or trying to plug one into a company's existing messy, janky systems can be a total nightmare. Their reasoning can be surprisingly fragile. And of course, the big one for any business, how do you make sure your sensitive company data stays safe when an agent is out there connecting to all sorts of external tools? All of these limitations, they lead us straight into some of the most important and, frankly, most difficult questions about this technology and its place in our world. Let's just get to it. This is the question everyone is asking, right? If these things are getting so autonomous, does that mean our jobs are on the chopping block? Well, for right now, the general feeling among the experts is no. The real vision is about collaboration, not replacement. The idea is that these agents will take over the boring, repetitive parts of our jobs, which will free us up to focus on the things humans are uniquely good at. Big picture strategy, real creativity, and solving messy, complex problems. As one expert said, the goal is for AI to augment us, not for us to end up just augmenting the AI. But this whole idea of collaboration brings up a huge ethical problem. If an agent messes up, say a financial agent makes a really bad trade and loses millions of dollars, who's responsible? Is it the person who wrote the code, the company that used it, the user? This question of accountability is a giant legal and ethical gray area that we have not figured out yet. So, moving forward is all about balancing this incredible potential with these very real, very serious challenges. So what's the path to getting this right? Well, people in the know seem to agree on three big things. First, governance. Businesses absolutely need ways to watch what these agents are doing and be able to trace their steps. Second, we need strategy, not hype. Companies should be adopting agents to solve an actual business need, not just out of FOMO. And finally, and this might be the biggest one, enterprise readiness. The bottleneck isn't always the AI. It's getting a company's own messy data and systems clean enough for an agent to even be useful.
And that really leaves us with this final critical question. The whole promise of AI agents is their autonomy, their ability to act on their own. But every ounce of that autonomy creates a new challenge for us. How do we build and manage these things so that we, the humans, are still ultimately accountable for what they do? Finding that balance, well, that's probably the biggest challenge of this new agentic age.